Rock Band has been topping the music game charts since its inception, but until now, the series hasn't attempted to truly reinvent itself. Rock Band 3 is a daring entry that revises the formula to incorporate real-life licks and a bona fide keyboard. The preeminent music game is looking to change the paradigm once again, but do fans have enough room in their hearts and living rooms for more plastic? Though Rock Band 3 brings some game-changing features to the fold, the fundamentals remain unchanged. Above all else, Rock Band is all about the idea that anyone can feel like a rock star as long as they maintain mastery over the 5 colored buttons on a plastic guitar. This time, however, the game is just as accommodating to those willing to step up to a new and more demanding level of play. At the heart of the game is its soundtrack, an expansive catalog of hits and B-sides spanning multiple decades of rock and roll. As with previous iterations, the song selection is excellent and exhibits some keen insight into tracks best suited for group play, turning up acts like Queen, the Beach Boys, and Huey Lewis and the News. All of the game's 83 tracks are available right from the start, but if you'd prefer to tackle the song list in a structured format, Career Mode's effortless drop-in, drop-out play returns with some notable tweaks. Progress in Rock Band 3 is now documented by challenges, a far-reaching network of meta-achievements and mini-games tied to the game's central career track. Specific challenges, like maintaining as much continuous overdrive as possible, encourage an approach that's more about actively engaging discrete objectives than simply playing well from one song to the next. It's a smart addition that's especially welcome once the music starts to feel familiar. If the need for conventional a la carte play arises, a tightened-up library with better sorting tools lets you know everything you need to know about a song at a glance, including how much of a challenge you're in for with Rock Band 3's new Pro Mode feature. Playing on Pro Mode is like turning Rock Band 3 to 11. It provides an additional rung of difficulty above Expert that makes use of the optional new peripherals to deliver an experience darn close to actually playing music. It amounts to a crash course, barely cushioned by a series of trainers tailored to each instrument. While they don't cover much technique or theory, the trainers provide you with enough of a foundation to try your hand at actually playing any of the 83 tracks in the game. Make no mistake, however, for all the detail the trainers go into, Pro Mode is one of the hardest things you will ever do in a game, not to mention one of the most expensive, with the Fender Mustang guitar peripheral alone retailing for $150. The prohibitive cost of entry, not to mention the learning curve and the level of commitment necessary to succeed, don't make it an easy sell by any stretch. But if you've always wanted to ease yourself into playing music with the context of a digital medium, or simply pursue a challenge beyond Expert Rock Band, Pro Mode has got you covered. It's hard to say if Pro Mode will amount to the next great frontier in music games, but if anything's certain, it's that Rock Band has staked its claim on that territory with this bold and forward-thinking sequel. Pro Mode is a feature that'll no doubt give back as much as you put in. That's why I say amen, I shout. Generally speaking, Rock Band 3's gameplay falls very much in line with previous iterations, delivering the same fun and accessible group experience it always has. Only now, a new instrument and difficulty mode introduce a few unique dynamics. Sporting 25 keys and MIDI-compatible hardware, the keyboard is one impressive piece of mock equipment that can either be played on a stand or with a strap like a new wave keytar. On regular difficulty, the keyboard is actually one of the easier instruments to get into, but on Pro, it's a whole different story. Shifting octaves, chords, sharps, and flats put considerably larger musical roadblocks in your path, which definitely calls for a bit of practice on individual songs to nail down. Playing on Pro Guitar is no less intense. Discrete fingering positions, hand shapes, and fret distinctions make it just as big a challenge. There's also a lot more to parse visually than keyboard or drums. The game's depiction of chords and tablatures takes some time to get used to, but after playing some tunes repeatedly over time, you may actually find yourself able to play some of them for real. The Fender Mustang controller, which serves as the platform for Pro Guitar, is a well-built piece of machinery, but the feel of the buttons doesn't quite replace the sensation of strings hitting a fret. As such, it's easy to misjudge finger placement. As the name suggests, Pro Mode is not the ideal entry point for players just dipping their toes into Rock Band, though the keyboard can be plenty fun if dialed down. Pro drums are ready out of the gate with just about every Rock Band song in existence, but the guitar and keyboard will have to wait just a little bit longer to see support outside of Rock Band 3. While the graphics at large may not have changed much, Rock Band 3's so-called overshell interface collapses the series' drab menus into a far sleeker, sexier presentation. Text rests easy over dynamic moving backdrops, while loading times are masked with clever transitions and lighthearted vignettes of your band's imagined travels. Periods of downtime are just as interesting to look at as your moments out on stage, crafting a beautiful musical mise-en-scene that's cohesive from head to toe. The excellent sound quality is also just what you'd expect, with some particular detail in the game's isolation of individual notes for pro-mode play. In terms of the overall audio-visual package, Rock Band 3 definitely lives up to the series' fine-tuned production values. For Rock Band 3, Harmonix revisits its roots to create a risky and adventurous music game that re-blurs the lines between fantasy and reality, but not at the expense of a fundamentally terrific experience that's accessible to most anyone who plays it. The level of commitment that promo demands is unquestionable, not to mention the investment required, but for dedicated players willing to throw themselves to the speakers, Rock Band 3 offers an avenue of musical exploration that you may not have thought possible in a video game.